Imagine a volcanic eruption so intense that it killed 20 to 25% of all people living in Iceland. And you don't have to just imagine this, because it really happened. Join us on today's episode as we go roaming around the dormant volcanoes that caused this enormous eruption. Iceland just keeps dishing up the goods. Every good adventure starts with airing down the tyres. We're heading into a really famous volcanic area. There is a monster, the biggest glacier in Iceland, just over that hill. We could see it earlier. There is another one over there, so we're heading down the valley between them. This should be pretty good. Iceland is one of those places that just keeps throwing up the unexpected and the unbelievable. Here, this waterfall is just a couple of 100 meters away from the road we have to drive in to get to where we want to be. And the great thing about this is that we have to drive through the river. And while it poses no problems at all for the Jeep, this thing is a gatekeeper and it keeps away all of the rental cars and all of the two-wheel drive vans. And it basically means that where we're going, there's not going to be many people, especially this late in the season when there's already a good deal of frost around. And you can see here we are now driving through the river just upstream from that waterfall. And this waterfall, in fact, it doesn't even really rate on the scale of Icelandic waterfalls. It's just run of the mill. It's just everyday. Welcome to Iceland. With a nice rocky bottom and not a whole lot of current, this is really easy for the Jeep. Although I'm sure at certain times of year, the water can be way up. We've driven in the F206, which takes us to a ring road that is the F207. And this ring road was specifically built around the Laki volcano system. And this is utterly mind-blowing. We start out the day by hiking up to that big mountain in the background and looking down the chain of volcanoes that are so clearly visible there. You can see all the craters where they're collapsing, and we walked in among all of those and poked around. So this chain of volcanoes that are now obviously a bit dormant, they erupted over an 8-month period from June of 1783 until February of 1784. And this thing, when it erupted, it spewed out 42 billion tons of lava. And to put that into real numbers, that is 14 cubic kilometers, which is utterly insane amount of lava. And as well as that, of course, it spewed out clouds of poisonous gas. They contaminated the soil, and that led to the death of 50% of the livestock in Iceland, and then a huge amount of the crops fail, which led to a huge famine, which led to about a quarter of all people in Iceland dying. It also modified the climate right across Europe and caused crops and people to die there as well. And so this, when it erupted, it actually caused a drop in global temperatures as 120 million tons of sulfur dioxide went out into the northern atmosphere. And so you can imagine the effects that this had right across Europe, North Africa, and even India. The scale of what happened here is impossible to put into perspective. And so roaming around here, these volcanoes, the volcanic lava, the moss, all of the colors, it's staggering and hard to comprehend. And looking at it on the drone screen really gave me a perspective for the size and the sheer scale of what happened here, how much Earth was moved, and how much destruction was caused when this chain erupted. So far, our adventures in Iceland have covered pretty much every surface I can imagine, from volcanic rock to really fine ash to the green moss that's everywhere, river crossings, mud, scree. And what we're finding here in the Laki system is that it really is everything Iceland has to offer packed into a really condensed place. You can see where the lava actually flowed. You get to drive past the dormant volcanoes. And then in the background, these ginormous mountains rise up. and we can see the two biggest glaciers in the country kind of hanging over our heads in the middle distance. This place just has everything in a really small area. When I was a little kid, if someone had asked me to draw a volcano, I either would have drawn Cotopaxi in Ecuador, or I would have drawn what we're driving past right now. These crumbling, strange rock formations that have a perfect crater on top that so clearly screams volcano and screams lava pouring out. Of course, there aren't just actual volcanoes, there's also these enormous ash fields that even all these years later are still just black and barren, where nothing can grow. I picture this just blanketing crops and livestock and just killing everything in its path. Now in the background you can see a couple of the glaciers, and I think some of that is even fresh snow. There's been some in the high elevations, and we're starting to get down below zero at night. It's only a matter of time until we're driving in the deep stuff. Soon enough, we move into another type of volcanic formation we haven't seen before. These amazing little pockmark, small holes and rounded divots. To me, they look exactly like what I remember from a video game as a kid, or from funny cartoon animations looking at craters on the moon or Mars. This, again, does not feel like we're on planet Earth, and I cannot believe where we've driven to. The Laki region does have one official campsite, but thankfully it's closed for the season and it is completely abandoned, which for me is the most amazing thing in the world, because it means we have the entire place to ourselves. All of this solitude, we get to watch the sunset and explore the whole area with Aurora, just looking around and taking in all of this amazing volcanic rock. As the sun sets, it remains crystal clear, and I am excited as Iceland starts to put on a show for us. I really love this time lapse because this is very much what it looks like to the naked eye, and this is exactly how the Aurora Borealis go. It can be hours and hours of not much going on, and then suddenly, oh my god. But I'll shut up now so you can actually enjoy it. Things are a little frosty when we get moving in the morning, and while we didn't actually get any snow, there's no doubt it's not far away. Of course, we were toasty warm inside the Jeep with the diesel heater running and the insulated canvas. This has been an incredible house for our little family. So here we are, just coming back into civilization, airing back up the Yokohama AT4 tyres. They've been doing great on all the different surfaces and conditions. We haven't really had much snow or ice yet, although that might change pretty soon. And you can see Iceland just continues to be insane. Literally every day we drive around a corner and say, is that even real? Is that even possible? This place is off the scale. So thanks again for joining us. Thanks for watching. There are still more adventures to come from Iceland. Fingers crossed, a mighty big one coming up next. Next time on The Road Chose Me, I drive our Jeep to the most surreal place I've ever been in my entire life. This is one for the record books. You do not want to miss out. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you soon.